All right, let's get into audience questions. It's been a couple of weeks since we did these, and there are many that came in and many are good. First one, Afghanistan plus 2022. David, is 2022 suddenly looking disastrous for Democrats, given what happened with Afghanistan and the fact that Joe Biden really needs some kind of legislative accomplishment? Yeah, so there's one, it's sort of still too early to say, but let's look at the bad and the good. So the bad is the optics of Afghanistan, which we've already discussed, aren't good for Joe Biden, even though he did the right thing. We had to leave. At some point, you have to say no more. It was going to be chaos no matter what. If Trump had done it, it would have been the same thing. There's no doubt that the Republican Party has been, and they're going to continue just slamming Biden. And then by extension of that, they're going to be slamming Democrats for failed foreign policy and wasted 20 years of time in Afghanistan, 20 years we never should have spent to begin with. But it's clear, whatever the truth is about Afghanistan, they're going to use it against Joe Biden for sure. What is going to happen with the infrastructure bill? Is it ultimately going to become a full and total reality? News from earlier this week, Nancy Pelosi working to push it forward. Joe Biden definitely needs another big legislative win. And then also there's still the question of redistricting and gerrymandering, which is not very friendly to the Democratic Party, and it's not going to be helpful to them in 2022. So there's a real chance that the combination of, if voters have a long enough memory, and they often don't, for Biden to be pinned with the disaster of Afghanistan and for people to care about that enough to vote for Republicans as a result, combined with Joe Biden gets no other big win between now and the election, I see it unlikely, and gerrymandering issues, it could be a disaster, an absolute and total disaster for Democrats. Now, what about on the other side? What sort of looks okay? First of all, since April, Democrats have had a pretty steady 3 to 4% lead in a generic ballot over Republicans, which deals with House and Senate. Now, 3 to 4% is not necessarily even that much. I mean, generic ballots in general, it's too early and it's too narrow for a 3 to 4 percentage point generic ballot lead to tell us very much about what's likely to happen in, I guess, what is 14, 15 months when that election actually takes place. And then the other question mark that could be good is a lot of these Republican governors that are governing terribly, even though what we're talking about in 2022 is House and Senate. We're not talking about Biden and we're not talking about governors, although some governors will be up for re-election. The vaccine rollout under Biden contrasted to the disaster of COVID hellscape Florida, the disaster of COVID hellscape Texas, Mississippi. It's ungodly what's happening down there. That is looking more and more likely to still be a factor as we get into 2022. And it could be something that, even though the analysis will be, did Biden or governors do better? Whichever party is perceived as having done better, Democrats or Republicans, Democrats as seen through Biden, Republicans as seen through these governors, it may impact the 2022 midterms as well. It's just too early to know. A lot of this really will come down to how Republicans run in 2022. And we're going to talk about that a little bit later. Do Republicans run on Biden's been a disaster with Afghanistan and authoritarian vaccination and all these different things that are all lies, communism, socialism, all lies? Or instead, do Republicans choose to run on something that seems more positive, even though it could be a disaster, sort of getting back to normal? Let's reopen, even though everything's basically open. That may be much more appealing than harping on old talking points, which their voters may no longer care about by the time it comes to vote. So the answer is, could 22 be a disaster for Democrats? Yeah, it could. It's too early to know. One of our sponsors is SteadyMD Primary Care, the easier and more affordable way to do primary care. And they're giving you 50% off because you are in my audience. You just answer a few questions. SteadyMD will match you with a licensed primary care physician that's tailored to your needs. You'll have a 1-hour virtual appointment and start a meaningful relationship with your new doctor And from then on, your doctor will be available to you by text, phone, and video chat. It's not some random doctor on call. Your SteadyMD doctor has a limited number of patients. You get the attention you deserve, and they can help you with anything your primary care doc normally would. It's very cool how it works. You don't need insurance. It's just $99 a month. No other fees or copays for visits. Take the free quiz and see which doctor is a perfect fit for you. You'll get 50% off your first month when you go to steadymd.com/Pacman. No risk, no long-term commitment. The link is right underneath the video.